Hey everyone, Frankie here. This is my 4th Cantonese book review, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Feel 100% series. In Chinese, it's called 百分百感覺. What it literally means is 100% feel. These books are definitely 100% aimed at native Cantonese speakers in Hong Kong. These books were published back in 1992. The author's name is Lau Wan-Kit, or Jeffrey Lau in English. These books were immensely popular in Hong Kong, so popular that they spawned movies and TV series and a lot of other things. There are, I have 5 volumes here to show you, so they're pretty thick, and there's 16 volumes total, and then there's 3 supplemental volumes which came later. The 3 supplemental volumes are actually pretty new. I'm not sure when the newest one was published, but Volume 16 I think was only like 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember when it was published. And these books are copyrighted all over the world. They sell them in Hong Kong, Malaysia, Taiwan, Korea, Indonesia, Italy, mainland China, and the United Kingdom. But the ones I'm going to be talking about today are the ones that are completely in Cantonese. The original versions are in Cantonese. These books I have in my hands here are the Malaysian edition, but again, they're still completely in Cantonese. There's no difference between these versions and the originals. So what are the books about? Well, it's kind of about dating. They're basically like manga. It's manga. So it's basically about, well, the first few volumes are about 2 guys trying to find a girl that they rank up as like 100%, like how many points they can give her, out of 100 out of 100. And it's a very funny book. I mean, they're very amusing. I don't typically read manga or watch anime, but I think the book is very, very interesting. The best thing, obviously, about the book is that it's written in standard Cantonese. If they published a book like this, then you have to, the Cantonese they use in the book has to be very standard. The slang that they use has to be very standard, very local to Hong Kong, or else nobody will understand it. But as I said, these books are written completely in Cantonese characters. They're for the advanced learners. It's, again, aimed at teenagers in Hong Kong. So if you're an advanced Cantonese learner, and I'm talking about like advanced, and you can read a great deal of Chinese characters, then this is definitely what you want to read to improve your Cantonese. I wouldn't say that what they use in the book is very complicated, but reading something only in Cantonese that has no English and no Pingyam, this is your best bet. This is literally the only thing that they have on the market that's completely in written Cantonese, unless you get some magazines. But even then, magazines are usually a mix of standard Chinese and Cantonese. So the positive aspects about this book, it's in standard spoken Cantonese characters. There's lots of Cantonese slang mixed in. The Cantonese characters they use in the book are very standard. There are a few variants that they use, but you can understand. If you can read Cantonese, then you'll understand the variants they use. The tone may not be exactly the same. Like, for example, the word 中意, the word to say I like, they might use just the word 中 for middle, or they might use the 中 with the yan on the side. So, but you can still get that it means 中意just by looking. And these books are really funny. I would say they're very amusing. Like, I'll show you this part here. Jerry is in a bar and he's hitting on some girl, and then all of a sudden some guy comes up to him and wants to fight him. You can see here. You see here, it's all written in Cantonese. You go over here. You see there, the Cantonese bubble. That's Jerry with the cigarette in his mouth. 佢話唔係喎. And then over here, another speech bubble. 我唔係同佢講. 我唔係同佢講 means I'm not talking with her. Him, her, or it. And then he grabs his hand and cracks. And then there's another, the page before that's kind of funny too. Over here. The girl is on this side here. The girl is drinking. She's like, oh, I would feel really, it would be great if I could blow a ring of smoke in his face, I guess. And then she's drinking, and then he comes over and is like, hey baby, what's going on? And she's like, oh. And then she blows a ring of smoke in his face, and then he blows a ring of smoke in her face, and it goes whoosh. So I'm not sure if that's how people in Hong Kong hit on each other, or maybe that's how they hit on each other back in 1992. But I found it very amusing. And then he beats up that guy. And it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's very amusing. The book is very, very, very funny. One thing that's important to note is that there is some standard written Chinese in the book that's not Cantonese. It is standard Hong Kong written Chinese. Usually it happens when they're setting up like the next chapter. I'll say, oh, Jerry just left Jenny's house and he's on his way back home now. And it'll be like a small section of standard written Chinese. Like right here, this is standard written Chinese. If it will focus, maybe. You can see here. Well, kind of went out. Oh, there we go. So that's standard written Chinese there. But that's okay. I mean, you should. I would say that if you speak Cantonese pretty well, you should be familiar with at least the most basic standard written Chinese. It'd be very, very beneficial for you to learn it. Personally, I think my standard written Cantonese is better than standard written Chinese, but that's another issue. So these books are really, really hard to find. I guess the only negative things I could say about these books is that there's no English rather, and there is no Pingyam. So if you don't know the characters, you need to guess, or you would have to write them down. Usually, what I do is while I'm reading and there's characters I don't know, I write them down on a post-it note and then keep them in the book, and then after that I write them down on in a notebook, and then I look up the meaning and the pronunciation and the meaning, and then I fill in the blanks. But native Cantonese speakers will be able to guess what the characters are by the way they look, or guess the way they sound by the way they look, and maybe guess the meaning because they might know every other character except one. They can guess what that is. Another negative thing is that these books are out of print. They're very old. They're hard to find. You could buy a digital copy of these books on in the Google Play Store. I think they had them on iTunes as well. You have to search for the Chinese name. It's another one of them. Dust jackets are kind of nice. Jerry is the one with the blonde hair, and then Yu-Lock is the one, the brunette guy, and then they both like this girl named Sherry. This is issue number 2. I bought these books in Boston at a local bookshop. They were $2 each. You can buy them as well on the Hong Kong Yahoo auctions, and they probably cost around, I would say, anywhere from $25 to $45 for the entire set. I'm talking about all 16 volumes. You can also find the 3 supplemental volumes on there as well. I haven't had a chance to get them yet because I'm not in Hong Kong. Another thing that might be negative about these books is it's manga. You know, I personally don't watch manga or anime rather. So for me to read these books is kind of odd. And the type of people that read these books are like otaku, and in Cantonese the way you would say like an otaku is din che lam, and din che lam means like you just read these books, you're not good at talking to women, and you like have that long, like that stereotypical otaku, like the weird, you know what I mean? So you read these books, people might say, oh, 你係咪電車男啊嘛？你電車男嚟，你電車男啊你, or something like this. But whatever, you know, whatever you need to do to improve your Cantonese, I would say do it. And if you want to improve your Cantonese to the native level, this is your best bet. Feel 100% by Jeffrey Lau, Lau Wan-Kit, 百分百感覺. This is the highest level Cantonese book that I would say I own. That's literally only in written Cantonese. Books like it would be very similar. There's also other series of books that are written entirely in Cantonese, but they're very hard to find. Your next best bet would be to buy like East Touch magazine, Dong Touch, or Milk magazine in Hong Kong. Some of the articles in those magazines are written entirely in Cantonese, but for the most part, most magazines, I would say, in Hong Kong are a mix of Cantonese and standard written Chinese. So it's kind of hard to find material if you're at super advanced level and you want to be able to read and write in Cantonese like a native speaker. But again, this is your best bet. I would say, you know, keep yourself on the lookout. You know, keep on the lookout for this book here. I'm going to post a link in the description. You can buy them on Yahoo auctions in Hong Kong. You can buy them from the Google Play Store, and I think on iTunes. I don't have an iPhone, so I'm not sure if they sell them on iTunes, but they do sell them in the Google Play Store. I'm 100% sure about that. So anyway, that was Feel 100% by Jeffrey Lau. Links are in the description. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them down below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. All right, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.